Hello and welcome to VHawks Podcast. In front of you, you should see what we call an encapsulation of the NFL season this year in a nutshell. It is all chaos. It is turning bad to the point where the Seahawks are at a point where we don't know what they are, and the Vikings keep dying. Even when I didn't think we had an injury, we still lost someone to IR against the Broncos. So we continue to literally just die. So it is with that being said that on a good Thanksgiving week, there is no need to go over our teams. We're just going to dive straight into predictions.
The Broncos are at 500 after being 1-5. That should tell you all you need to know about this season. And the
Correct. And the
Texans are
Vikings
actually
and the
good.
Vikings are 6-5 after being 1-4.
And the Texans are actually a good team. So
Yep.
also Matt Canada got fired. So
And the Giants beat the Commanders. The Giants got a win with what? Timmy DeVito, whatever his name is.
I think it's Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
What else? Well, there was something else crazy that happened, but I don't remember. What was it? Ugh. I don't know. I'll probably think about it. Ready?
Michael Thomas is back on IR, so there's some normalcy.
Well, then you have to have some traditions.
Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews got hurt.
Yeah. That, I don't know. Hmm. Oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes just throwing random red zone interceptions.
Marquez Valdez Scantling caught a wide open touchdown pass.
Well, he just
Or
dropped
he
another
dropped
pass
it,
as
yeah.
we spoke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say now. You know it's bad when Tom Brady is literally sitting there in retirement saying, "This is bad. This,
Yeah, I believe his
this
words were
isn't good.
mediocre, but I think he's being nice.
This is the perfect encapsulation of the season." Like if it was all close games, I think you and me agree it would be better. Even if we still have the same amount of upsets, same amount of teams dominating, whatever, but these were good games. That's
Hmm.
one thing. They haven't been good.
I feel like most of our games have actually been good. It's just not fun for us to watch because we're just dying of heart attacks every single play.
And it's also just everybody's sloppy.
Yeah,
No one's
there's sloppy football.
other than like some of the Ravens wins, and you could probably look at a couple other wins, maybe like Dallas against the Panthers this week.
Ravens against Detroit.
But specifically, like especially those like one possession games that come down to the final seconds, it's not because the other team won. The other team did more to lose the game than the other team did to win.
That encapsulates the Viking season
I,
entirely.
I think
Like
that just
talk about all the
encapsulates
turnovers
everybody's
every
season.
game. We have one game without a turnover. One.
Wasn't that Denver?
It's week 12. We have one game without a turnover, Matt. The Saints game. That's it.
Well, I think it's time. We're just gonna do this quick. It's Thanksgiving. Or it's the week of Thanksgiving. We're kind of tired. It's been a long season and we're nowhere near done yet. We haven't even gotten for December yet.
Yeah, and the worst part is both of our teams are probably going to make the playoffs, which means we have to go on for longer.
I don't know when
But
my
on the bright
Seahawks, because
side, if we do that, we might have live streams. So tune in to see our misery.
or somehow we collapse in the final week of the season. Who knows? But
Yeah, but again, weak NFC. I can't get over that enough. It's very weak.
until the Rams somehow come back and win the Super Bowl, just because why not?
I mean, yeah, but no.
Nah. All right. Moving on to picks.
All right. For those of you who didn't watch the last podcast, I went an impressive 12-2, even picking a Giants win. I almost threw up in my mouth. And that makes me 104 and 60 on the season. So I cracked 100 before week 12. So happy there.
I went 10-4. I am now at 99.65, which still 34 games above 500. We chilling.
Oh yeah, we both of us are way qualified to do this. That with all the chaos that the league is, the fact that we're doing this well is honestly the bright spot of the podcast.
Bad thing, there's been so many weeks that the first few weeks, I think we were doing it out of who we thought was the best team and whatever, and actually thinking about it
Mhm.
like objectively. Then it just turned into, yeah, the upset, yeah,
Yeah,
no, that one. At some
yeah,
point, I think a part of it just turned into we were throwing darts at a dartboard and whatever it landed on, we picked.
that is very accurate. Um,
Not
yeah, I mean, maybe
realistically,
not dartboards. I'm following trends. I kind of just am like last week. Washington ends streaks. The Giants were on a losing streak. Therefore, the Giants will win. And like, there's no reasoning there except for the fact that there's a trend, and I went with the trend.
so the Commanders are going to beat the Cowboys winning streak right now.
Mm, I don't know if it's a long enough winning streak. I mean, like I would call it again, but I don't.
Do it. You won't.
Eh.
Imagine if you called it.
I mean, but I already called
Imagine.
the Giants getting a win.
Tyler, I called the Broncos beating the Chiefs. This is
Yeah,
yours.
but I'm not. I'll pick the Commanders if you pick the Commanders.
You didn't pick the Broncos when I picked the Broncos.
Yeah, well, I mean that was crazy. At least the Washington one makes some semblance of sense.
Well, no, this Washington one is crazy. You don't get to use the Washington against the Giants because the Giants, Washington sucks, Giants suck. No, this is a bad team against a good team. Stick to your convictions.
Mm, we shall see. All right. Starting us off, Thanksgiving games. We have the green incarnations of Satan. Yes, I'm looking at you, Tom Grossi. Um, against the Detroit Kitty Goes Roar Meow Lions.
I think it's Meow Roar with how they played against the Bears, but all right.
Yeah, true. They're gonna roar all afternoon against the Green Bay Packers.
I guess that game is at 12:30. That's an early game.
Well, they got to stagger Thanksgiving to make football going on all day.
That's fair. So when the Dallas game is on and everybody hates Dallas and Dallas is just beating Washington by 50, nobody can switch off. That's fine. But
No, dude, are you not remembering the best Thanksgiving ever was like a few years ago when the Washington football team beat the crap out of Dallas?
I don't.
Yeah, that was the best. Like it was not even close. That was like 40-6, I think, was the score of that game.
Well, to bring this back to this being a quick video, I'll be going with Detroit with them against
Yep.
Green Bay.
Mhm.
Detroit's just been looking better. I feel like
They're
their
eight and
defense
two.
will have a bounce back.
Yep. They're 8-2. The Packers got a lucky win. But they're not a good team. So, um, we got the Commanders taking on the Cowboys.
Do it. Do it.
Nah, I'm taking the Cowboys.
Coward. All right, I'm going with the Cowboys as well.
Feel like you just lost all credit to your coward insult, but all right.
Hey,
Um,
you don't get to say I don't have any credibility to my coward insult. You didn't pick the Broncos against the Chiefs, and I'm gonna
yeah,
hold that
yeah,
above you
you did, you did.
for the rest of the season.
I got you. I'll pick the Giants. I'll pick it back up. Don't doubt me. Um, all right, we got San Francisco. So no, that's sorry.
Yeah,
I was
let's
about
just
to say it.
no,
You
no,
cut me off before.
let's just do it.
We're gonna do it. Okay. I mean, my games last anyways. I mean, it wouldn't really affect mine. All right, San Francisco at Seattle. Sorry, Matt. Well, actually, I'm not sorry because this should be a much easier game for you to watch than the Rams game because this one should probably be not a one score game. So,
No, it's probably I'm just not even watching this. I'll be in bed.
probably, maybe.
8:20 at night. I'm good.
There you go. Have a good Thanksgiving meal. Go to bed.
Yeah, 49ers moving on.
Yep. All right. The Jets are not a winning team. Therefore, the Miami Dolphins win.
Yeah. We're finally seeing we'll probably see for the first time this season a former Packer quarterback play a whole game against or play a whole game for the Jets. Um, but the bad thing for the Jets is this quarterback is more known for holding a clipboard than
Yeah.
playing football.
Mm-hmm.
If Miami doesn't win this game by at least 10 points, it's an issue.
Or the Jets defense just decided to turn into like a Titan and
Okay.
wreck
Let me
everything.
let me let me restart that. If the Jets score more than 17 points, that's a problem.
Correct.
Moving on.
What even is the NFC South?
It's
Um,
nothing.
yeah, so because of that, Desmond Ritter is starting again, and he has a great streak at home that was ended by the Commanders, of course. So we're gonna
I don't
have the
think that's a
Falcons.
thing even close anymore. I think he just sucks now.
I mean, yeah, but I'm gonna say he gets a win against the Saints. I don't even know how, but
Is Derek
yeah.
Carr even still alive?
I think he might actually start this game. I'm not positive.
Like I've heard, or I'm not even I've heard. It's just if it feels like he keeps going in and out, and it's something new every week.
Yeah, and I mean, I I don't like the way either of these teams are looking
No.
at all. So
Who did the Falcons play last week? Who was it?
the Falcons played the Cardinals and lost, or was that
Yeah,
the week before?
that was the week before. Did they played last week?
Did the Falcons have a bye? Because the Saints also had a bye.
I
If
think
that's
that
the
might have been.
case,
But I'm going with the Saints just because I don't know if Desmond Ritter can throw a football accurately anymore. Like I feel like the Falcons were heading at a good direction to begin the season. At this point, I feel like the coaches lost the locker room, just how badly it's been, especially for their quarterback situation. Falcons need to go back to the drawing board in this draft to find a good quarterback. Desmond Ritter is not the answer, and I think the Saints defense will force a few turnovers. Might not be probably be like a 10-7 game just because the Falcons have some weapons that could probably get them at least a touchdown, but I'm going with the Saints.
yeah, I have no confidence in my pick at all. But I mean, honestly,
This is a coin flip
other
and
other than the
everybody
Pan
loses.
other than the Panthers, anyone in the South could be anyone in the South. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, knowing
And
that it's only what a 4 game lead, like the highest team in that division is 5-5.
yeah, which is the
It must be
Saints.
nice.
Yeah. I mean
Uh,
that is crazy. Just like the NFC least that one year. All right, moving on to Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh finally fired Matt Canada. Meanwhile the Bengals lost Joe Burrow. Give me Pittsburgh.
yeah, I feel like Pittsburgh's defense is just going to basically have their way with whoever is at quarterback. I feel like also firing Matt Canada should. I don't think Kenny Pickett is just going to turn into this Tom Brady type player now, but it should give them a little bit more room where they can actually get creative and actually make good play calls. So I'm going with Pittsburgh in this one as well.
There you go.
Going to be really low scoring though.
We got the Panthers at Tennessee.
See, I don't know how much.
Honestly, I could see this as an upset, but I'm going with the Titans.
Yeah.
We actually got Tampa Bay at the Colts. According to the nation so far, I am going to pick the upset because I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this one. The Colts just released Shaquille Leonard.
That was weird. What?
Honestly, they waived him. Like
Yeah.
their best defensive player, I'd argue. Um, just earlier today or like this week or something. So not saying that's the reason I'm picking Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's last game was against the 49ers, fully healthy, so I don't fault them at all for that. Going up against a Colts team with a backup quarterback with that defense, give me Tampa Bay in a bounce back victory.
I'm going with the Colts. Believe they had their bye week this week or last week. So I feel like they're going to come back off refresh. We just watched Tampa Bay get absolutely curb stomped. Um, I just feel like the Colts will find a way just because they've had the more rest and this will still be a lot of these games are either just going to be close or just bad. I don't know anymore.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm going with the Colts.
Speaking of bad games, we got the Patriots at the Giants. I But literally, this is the only reason I'm making this pick. Or I have two reasons. One, I have no faith in picking the Giants twice in a row, no matter who they face. And Bill Belichick has an insane winning percentage after a bye week. So with that information, that's all I needed. I'm going to take the Patriots to win, which also feels like I want to throw up in my mouth, but it's only because of the bye week and the fact that I don't want to pick the Giants again, even though they're playing the Patriots.
Well, if you just want to give me that free win, I'll take it. I know
That's
I
what
said that last week about the Washington
thank you for
Commanders.
guaranteeing that I win this. Thank you for guaranteeing that I win at least one of my matches against you this week, because that's exactly what you said when I picked the Giants to beat the Commanders.
Well, I didn't exactly expect Sam Howell to turn into a fraud. Sorry, Ron Rivera, it's time to go. Um, I feel like Mac Jones has just lost that locker room.
Oh, absolutely.
The Patriots are just not a good team. Um, we thought maybe this year they could start taking a step forward, but Mac Jones has turned into another Alabama quarterback that went into college or that went into the NFL and just absolutely flamed out. Um, I have to go with New York just because they came off a victory. New York just had, or not New York, New England has just looked bad all year. Um, yeah, even
Yeah,
with
I
Bill
mean,
Belichick being the head coach, I don't see them being able to do much on offense to win this game.
also now that I look at it, Mac Jones might not even start. Which, granted, I don't know if that's good or bad for New
Honestly, that
England.
might help them.
Yeah. Um, but you know what? Saquon also popped off.
You made your pick. Move on.
I'm going to the Giants. I'm going back. I have the
If New
power.
England wins, you're gonna kick yourself.
I have the no. I'm not. I'm in the lead. I'm fine. I
You could have been
have
up six
no problem with
games.
that. Huh?
You could have been up 6 games.
I don't care. Um. But yeah. Bill Belichick's winning. I mean, granted, like he got most of his records after a bye with Tom Brady, or at least a decent roster. So they don't
Well,
have either of those right
moving
now.
on to probably now that I look over this, probably
One of the best games.
if not the best, because there's some questions about those other teams that are on this list. Um, Jacksonville at Houston. Um, for the first week, CJ Stroud looked human and not that great in the game, but Houston was able to pull off against the Cardinals. Jacksonville, who did they play? Lincoln.
They beat the crap out of somebody. No, they didn't. Did they?
Who did they win against? Oh, it
They
was
beat
the
the
Titans. They beat
Cardinals.
the crap out of the
They
Titans.
beat the crap out of the Titans. I was gonna say they beat the crap out of somebody. I
Yeah,
thought.
the Titans are that formidable. I'm sorry. Um, this game is at Houston, but I think we're gonna have to go with Jacksonville. CJ Stroud looked human, and I feel like, especially against a Cardinals defense that's not that great, I feel like Jacksonville could do at least similarly. And we also saw Calvin Ridley actually start getting in the game plan. Hopefully,
Mhm.
that's his jumping off point where he can finally start being involved in more games rather than one game every 5 games.
For the first time since week 1, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he popped off in week 1 and then just disappeared till now. So
there might have been one other game or whatever that he did decent in, but we really haven't seen him be that good. But I just feel like Jacksonville is going to be has a bit more momentum. Yes, they both won, but Houston barely got out of that Cardinals game alive. So I'm going with Jacksonville.
I'm also going with Jacksonville. I believe they're the better team. The Texans are real scrappy. But
It's going to be a
I
good game.
I believe it should be a great game. And if Houston wins, they're tied for the division.
If I had
So
told you that at the beginning of the year, would you believe me?
no, because I picked the wrong T team as my wild card team to come out of nowhere. So yeah. Thanks D Hop for well, it's not D Hop's fault actually, because he can't throw the ball to himself.
I
So
warned you about Ryan Tannehill.
yeah, but yeah.
You don't have a butt in this situation.
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah, but
My point.
when
My point
when did
stands.
he have a receiver? He had AJ Brown, and AJ Brown did well. Then AJ Brown got traded.
Well, no, but he can't stay healthy anymore.
Yeah, but he threw to AJ Brown when AJ Brown was on the team. So I was thinking, get D Hop, who is also another great wide receiver with AJ Brown. Maybe throw a ball to a great receiver.
Well, knowing he wasn't really used until Will Levis finally got the start.
Yeah, and he pops off for 4 touchdowns
Yeah. And
or
then I
three
don't think
touchdowns
he's
or something
really
like that.
done anything since. But
Yeah, he got a touchdown last week. That was their only one against the Jaguars.
moving on
Uh,
to Tyler's least favorite team of at least top 5 hated team versus
no, they're
Cleveland.
not. They're not one of my top 5 least hated team or least favorite teams. Their coach is one of my least favorite coaches because of 2009 Bounty Gate.
He only knew about it. He wasn't a part of it.
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Bro, that's what the NFL figured or what they found out.
And you
Saying the
trust the
NFL's
NFL.
lying?
Matt, I want to hook you up to a lie detector test and say and ask you if you have 100% confident in the NFL disclosing all information that they have. I think that's what
100% is a bit much, don't you think?
that's but exactly yeah, but the NFL can be pretty sketchy at
Like
times.
every other thing isn't sketchy.
Yeah, but when
But
it comes
what?
to this, it's different. It's also coming down to character judgments and word of mouth. So a lot of things can get lost in translation. But
Like
anyway,
John Gruden's
there
emails?
shouldn't. I honestly don't think like this game is hard to pick because DTR um is a backup, but that defense is just too good for me not to pick them. Like I picked the Broncos to win last week. They did. And however, the Russell Wilson was not able to do much in that game until the end, when our defense was gassed. But the Cleveland Browns defense, even when they are gassed, because they just played Pittsburgh in one, granted, like again, like you don't really know. They've probably been gassed in every game they played. They still find ways to win. I have to pick Cleveland's defense.
They were
I have
playing a
to.
Matt Canada offense though with Kenny
Yeah,
Pickett.
but they've played other games and have still won. They beat the 49ers as well. Like
That was with
I don't
PJ
know.
Walker though.
I don't. But DTR is honestly probably the same. Like,
I
there's
don't
a
know.
reason why PJ Walker's not playing.
But that was also
DTR
with some of the
could be
49ers
better.
weapons hurt though.
It's still the 49ers.
Yeah, but without Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel, and you said earlier Christian McCaffrey is their number one.
Yeah, but they got hurt during that game.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the same thing could happen to the Broncos, but I don't know. Like, this game could come down to it as well. I'm just picking Cleveland's defense, but Broncos have been crazy with takeaways, so that could totally happen, especially with a backup quarterback. So I don't have any confidence in this pick either. But then again, there's not many picks on this list that I do have confidence in. So
There's one way to tell if Denver will win this game. If Cleveland gets the ball first and fumbles on their first drive.
that's what's happened the past 3 weeks.
Past 2 weeks, yes.
Gotcha.
Against the Bills and the Vikings, both teams fumbled on their first possession.
Should have been a flag. But at least he got ejected. Or not ejected, suspended.
But
So,
yeah, Broncos country, let's ride.
all right. The Rams continue their winning streak.
Yes, moving on. That's it. I don't want to talk about it.
The Chiefs bounce back and destroy the Raiders.
Basically, I don't even know if Jimmy Garoppolo is playing. So yeah,
The Bills will come crashing down after gaining false hope that firing their offensive coordinator fixed all their problems.
yeah. I feel like Philadelphia had a tough game against the Chiefs, and especially in that
Yep.
first half, Philadelphia pretty much got outplayed and out physicaled. I
Mhm.
feel like this week they come back to assert their physicality against Buffalo, who's not a great team.
Mhm.
They were
And is
playing Zach
banged up.
Wilson.
Mhm.
So yeah, Buffalo will probably get absolutely destroyed.
Yep. Um, and also I think that was raining the majority of the Chiefs game as well. So that impacted what all they could do with the ball. So, yeah, give the Eagles. I mean, out of every team in the league, I said it last week, I'll say it again. The Eagles are the only team I have, like, I would say 80% or more confidence in. Like, I don't have 100% confidence in any team in the league, but the Philadelphia Eagles are the ones I have the most.
They're probably the healthiest team, at least on offense. I don't know about their defensive
I
injuries.
mean, even when they lose defensive guys, their other guys are stepping up, and
Yeah.
like
Well,
their
knowing they
defensive
basically
line
have the
is
whole
just,
Georgia defense playing.
yeah, exactly, and they're so beefy up front. So I mean, that's really where it matters as well. So anyway,
Baltimore crushes Los Angeles.
yeah, I mean, honestly though, watch the Chargers win. I'm not picking them, but I'm predict like it's funny. I don't I'm not actually going to pick them to win, but I'm going to predict them to get a win just so everyone in the league goes WTF. Um,
Fire,
but no, I
hashtag
think I
fire
think
Brandon Staley.
I think they need to have, yeah, I was gonna say that. I think they need to have Brandon Staley fired before they get that win.
Actually, hold
Um,
whoa, 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 whoa. Didn't the Chargers lose last week?
they did, and they're in the incredibly mid team, so they have to make up for their loss.
Well, I wasn't going to say, well, unless you're meaning the whole Justin Herbert being 500 for his whole career and the
Yep.
Chargers being 500 since whatever.
He was what, 29, 29, and 11 or something like that? Just or
29,
something.
29, and 1, you're thinking of
Yeah.
the Chargers as 11.
Yeah, the Chargers as a whole is like 520 or something, and 520 and 11, and then there's 1,520 points and 1,520 points, something like that, of
It
what
could
they scored
happen,
and
but
what
I'm
they've
not
been scored
predicting it
on.
to happen this week.
So
They'll
yeah,
probably
I'm
lose
not
this week
picking
and
them
then get
either.
2
I'm just
wins.
saying it's funny how mid the Chargers are. It's very funny. Um,
Honestly,
yeah,
mid's not even a good thing for them. It's mediocrity.
yeah,
I know it's just a shortened version, but mid's a
but
little too nice.
the Ravens are still dominant even without Mark Andrews. They'll find a way to win.
Yeah.
So
And they've had
all
the
right,
extended rest.
yep. All right, then we have Minnesota's last game before the bye week. This is going to be interesting because there's a possibility Justin Jefferson does return because we had the loss against the Broncos. I don't think it will happen, but I also don't
From
think it's
what
going to
I've
matter.
from what
Uh,
I've been hearing from all that, especially with him going on social media and telling people to go screw off with their fantasy stuff,
mhm.
I'm probably guessing he would still be out again this week unless there's something that happens.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's going to matter though. I think we bounce back and win this game.
Yeah,
Um,
I have you winning. It's just I also think what would probably be best is to get through this game, then activate him off IR, and then bring him back over the bye week, and then playing in that
yep.
next game.
And you can go back to any of our earlier podcasts, and that's exactly what I've said every single week. I'm like, don't care when JJ comes back, just make sure he's 100% healthy first. And after the bye week is literally the longest amount of time you can wait. So that's the
Or
best chance we're
after
going to.
going into a bye week is the longest time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I meant like getting the bye week. Like
Yeah.
he'll start after the bye week, and that's the longest amount of time. Like the game after the bye week against the Raiders is the longest amount of time he could wait to play.
As long as
So,
it's not a Thursday night game.
well, even if it was, it'd still be the longest time he could wait. Like that's like if he doesn't play in that game, he has to go on like full IR, like season ending.
Okay. I see what you
So
mean.
like, yeah, exactly. So I'm saying like literally the last game he's available, like the window opens up. The window closes after the week after the bye week. So
I was in a
yeah,
whole different conversation, but I agree with you.
no,
Um,
you're good. Yeah. So yeah, so he has to play in the Raiders game or he will not be activated for the rest of the season. So um
but I will
so
also
yeah,
say for this Vikings game, it could also be a trap game for you guys because Chicago actually played really well against the Lions. Just they kind of fell short at the end, but we'll see what happens.
they did, and I fully agree with that, and that's what I would be completely worried about, and I'd probably pick the Bears in this matchup if the Vikings didn't lose to the Broncos last week,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
why
if
I'm
y'all had
picking the
one,
Vikings.
y'all would probably be losing this one.
Correct. And exactly what I'm saying before is like the games you want to lose are the out of conference games. So I'd much rather us lose to the Broncos than the Bears.
Only
So
problem is then you have to win those conference games.
and we're already 6-2. So I'll take it. Our,
Well,
three of our five losses are against AFC opponents. I love it. Keep stacking the L's against the AFC. Keep stacking the W's against the NFC. That's what I want.
good Lord, Tyler.
That's how you got to play it, dude. The playoff picture is wide open for the NFC. We hold those spots. This is for 6 and 7 respectively, with a 2.5 game lead over most teams. So we're good. We're sitting pretty. Granted, your schedule is really tough coming up, so I'm not sure how pretty that's going to be. But like, still, it's going to be competitive. It's going to come down to the end.
As long as the other bottom feeders keep killing themselves down there, we're fine.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows? The Cardinals could upset the Rams. You never know.
Because we still have at the end of the season we have out of I have these two. I know the Cardinals are the last game, but I don't know if it's Titans first or the Steelers first, and I feel like we can win all three of those games, um, especially the Titans game
Right.
because Titans suck. Also,
Yeah,
I
that's
love how
true.
we said this was gonna be a quick episode, and I do not think that happened at all. But
Yeah, you started talking a bunch about the recap of the season. I was kind of just rolling with it because I was like, all right, sure, we'll do that. All right. But lastly, before we sign off, the coin is very close to being booted, but it is still above 500. It went 6-8 last week. It is now 30-28 on the season. I believe it got commissioned in like week 8 or 9. Um, So, but Matt, let me know when you start seeing a trend. We'll pull the graphic back up if you don't mind of the teams. Let me know if you start seeing a trend that the coin may or may not have been following for pretty much every week. The coin has picked the Packers, the Commanders, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Steelers, switch up, the Titans, the Colts, the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Browns, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Vikings. That was a lot of road win teams.
Yeah.
Like always.
I think that's a weighted coin and you've been duped.
Yeah, I mean literally it's just coin flip generator on online and you just flip the coin and it's just like it does tails so often for some reason, but it's still above 500, so I don't really care. But like it's picking a few games where I'm just like, really? So we'll see what happens. Like the Raiders against the Chiefs or the Green Bay against the Lions. Like,
Green Bay against the Chiefs.
no, Las Vegas against the Chiefs. Sorry, I was leading up to saying Green Bay against the Lions. So that game does happen this year, though. Green Bay does play the Chiefs this year.
Yeah. Oh.
Um,
I think that's it. Unless you want to say something else.
nah, I'm good. Um, Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We hope everyone enjoys it. Hopefully, we have a good week of football somehow with these bad games that we have.
I don't think it's gonna be the case, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, all I'm hoping for is that the Vikings don't get too injured before the bye week and we get a win against the Bears, hopefully. And then yeah, then I don't really care much. The next podcast will be well no, sorry. The next podcast will include the regular episodes because both of our teams will have played. But the podcast after that will be mainly about Matt, just like how when the Seahawks had their bye, we did mainly about me.
Yeah.
So stay tuned there because I'm sure a lot of you are tired of hearing me talk. So in 2 weeks from now, you will get to hear Matt talk a lot more than me. So stay
Also, I
tuned.
would just like to say for the record that Tyler was forcing me to start this episode and didn't make me, so that's a dub.
Oh yeah, I don't,
Bro
I
got
don't,
duped.
I don't care. Yeah, I'm too tired to
That's
really
fair.
care.
Yeah. Well,
So
have a great Thanksgiving, y'all. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid, and don't be like the NFL season. That's all I gotta say.
don't be chaotic. Don't be fire. Don't get into
Just don't be a
accidents.
dumpster fire.
Eat some good food. Be nice to your family. Watch some football. Maybe play some football, but be safe.
Peace.